Hello Minecrafters and welcome back to the 6th episode of Let's Survive Minecraft. In today's episode we are heading into the nether, and the nether is a very useful but also a very dangerous dimension. In today's episode we are learning how to build a nether gate and how to travel into the nether, how to align nether gate and how to find ancient debris. Ancient debris is the diamonds of the nether, and ancient debris can even further improve our diamond armor, weapons and tools. If you finished our last episode and watched it all the way to the end, you know that I have found an abandoned mineshaft. I explored the entire mineshaft, but sadly, I have not found any glowberries, so the search for glowberries is gonna continue. As well, in between episodes, I explored our world a little bit more, and I have found an amazing shadowed savanna and a dark forest, which I was super happy about, because now we have some dark wood to work with. But I'm still looking for a spruce forest, so the search will continue. So let's get going on our first nether gate. I decided to build my nether gate right here. It's just around the corner from our base. To build a nether gate, you need a minimum of 10 obsidian and 1 flint and steel, which you're gonna need to light up the gate. To begin with, we are placing 2 pieces of obsidian onto the floor and then 2 on each side, and we're gonna build up 3, and then we're gonna do 1 block here, and then here we go. This is the smallest possible nether gate you can build with 10 obsidians. You can build bigger gates in the future, but this is the smallest you can build. To light it up, put your flint and steel in your hand and then light the bottom of your nether gate. Here we go. Now, before we go, ensure we have some good weapons and some good armors. As you can see, I have worked on my armor in between episodes, added some good enchantments. They're not the best, but they're good for now. The other thing we need to make sure as well is that we have a piece of golden armors. The reason for that is we will find piglins in the nether and they are gonna leave you alone as long as you have a golden armor on. So, I think we're as ready as we can be, and let's go into the nether, which is a different dimension. We gotta stand in the middle of the gate. Okay, we are in a crimson forest, which is an amazing biome inside the nether. But you have to be very careful here, because there are hoglins and piglins, and especially the hoglins, they are quite aggressive towards you. Now, let's explore this world a little bit. The one thing I am looking for is quartz, which is up here. It's a great way of getting XP as well. It's a great building block and an important part in redstone construction. So let's go get some. Very careful. These guys will come for you. Yeah, we gotta be very careful because there's gonna be more than one. And the other thing we have to be very careful is that we don't hit any piglins, because as soon as you hit them, all of the ones around them will attack you. Doesn't matter if you wear a golden helmet or not. Now let's go find that quartz. And as you can see, the quartz is giving us quite a bit of XP. As you can see, the nether is a dangerous place, with many hostile mobs just waiting for you. Many lava lakes, holes and cliffs waiting for you to fall down to your death to. As well, ensure before you go and explore the world, you write down the coordinates of your nether gate to ensure you can find your way back. And as you can see, there are many amazing resources that we can find here. The one I really like are those shroom lights. And now, as you can see, we already found looks like a nether fortress, which is a structure that can be found in the nether, and it's quite dangerous, but again, we can find some amazing treasure and resources in those structures. Now this one, let's wait until a little bit later, until we are ready to explore this nether fortress. For now, I want to set up a base to ensure we are safe to be able to enter and exit the nether in the future. A safe place for us to build a base is either in the ceiling of the nether, on the roof, which is quite a bit of work, or in a cave on the bottom of the nether. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to be digging down to Y8, where we are going to build our nether base. Our crimson forest has many crimson trees, and the wood of the crimson tree we can use just like the wood in the overworld, and we can build anything that we could build with the wood in the overworld. So here we go, we are going to build our first crimson door to ensure we are safe in our base. Okay, we have to go to Y8. Right now we are at Y50, so we got quite a bit of way to go. The one thing we have to be careful in the nether is it's not like in the overworld where we can just dig down. There could be different kinds of cliffs and caves and lava lakes just under us, so we maybe have to be very creative how to get to Y8. When heading to the nether for the first time, please ensure you're going to bring at least 10 pieces of obsidian and a flint and steel, just in case your nether gate blows up or you lose your nether gate and you need to find your way back home. Okay, we made it down to Y7, and here we're going to start building our base. The one thing we need to understand about the nether is that each block in the nether is 8 blocks in the overworld, which is a great way for us to travel far distance. So every block in the nether that we travel 8 blocks in the overworld. So we need to be very careful when aligning our nether gate. Now to do that, we need to travel back into the overworld. So, the coordinates for our nether gate are -27, 63, 271. So, we only need the X and the Z coordinate. We don't have to worry about the Y coordinates. So, -27 and 271. The one thing we're going to do now is we're going to divide those coordinates from the overworld portal by 8. The reason for that is, like I mentioned already, every block in the nether is 8 blocks in the overworld. So we divide the overworld coordinates by 8 to give us the coordinates in the nether. So our coordinates are X -3 and Z 33 for our nether coordinates. So the one thing we have to do to make sure it will work is we need to break this nether gate. And then we're going to rebuild our nether gate down at Y7, where we are going to be building our nether base. So the coordinates we have decided on is -3 and then set 33. So we are standing in -3, and like I mentioned, the Y coordinates at this point doesn't really matter. So we are now looking for 33, which is right here. So we are standing at -3 and 33. So we are going to build our nether gate right here. Now here we are, let's light it up and let's hope that we are aligned with our overworld nether gate. And here we are. We're gonna test it one more time, going back. So here we are. This is now going to be our base. It's going to be our nether portal that is aligned with our overworld base. And we can travel back and forth, and it's going to be quite safe with not too many mobs that should be able to spawn down here. Now, we can do the same with our XP farm. So that's one thing I want to do, is I want to align this nether gate with the XP farm. So the XP farm we have is quite a bit away down our mines, and it's quite a bit for us to walk there. So like I mentioned already, 1 block in the nether is 8 blocks in the overworld. So we have to travel not as far in the nether than we have to travel in the overworld. And if we are aligning the nether gate with our base in the overworld and another nether gate with our XP farm, we'll be able to travel really quickly to our XP farm and don't have to spend so much time traveling. And to do that, we need to travel back to the overworld, to our XP farm, and the location where we want to build our next nether gate. So I have built one right here, and we're gonna make sure that we take the coordinates of the nether gate. Now, with the coordinates in hand, and with the coordinates divided by 8, we are heading back to the nether, and we will go find the location of those coordinates in the nether and build our nether gate right there, and hopefully those two nether gates will align. Alright, we are back in the nether, and now we need to figure out which way to go. So for the coordinates that I calculated for our nether gate in our XP, we need to go to X58, which is in this direction here, which is east, and then we are going set 41, which we're almost there, which is right here. This is 42, 41. So we are heading into this direction, and all we're gonna do is dig a tunnel just like we do in the overworld. And here we are, X58. So this is the location of our next nether gate. That should align with our XP farm, hopefully. They are now aligned, and we are able to travel really quickly between our home base and our XP farm. Now, as you can see, it takes a little bit of time to align nether gates and a little bit of math and calculating, but it's going to be worth it on the end. You'll be able to travel way faster than you did before. As you can see, this is how fast we are able to get back to our home base. Now, there is one very important rule in the nether, and that rule is don't sleep in a bed, because if you sleep in a bed or try to sleep in a bed, this will happen. Very dangerous. Now, we can use this technique to go and mine in the nether and find ancient debris. Now, ancient debris is just like diamonds in the overworld. It's extremely rare to find, and the best way to find it is either you mine for it, just like you would do in the overworld, or you use the technique of blowing up beds. The best thing to do is farming sheeps, building beds, and blowing up beds and finding ancient debris. With lots of wool and wood in our inventory, we are heading back to our nether base, where we're gonna look for ancient debris by blowing up beds. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this, we're gonna build a tunnel 4 deep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do space up here for a bed. 2, 3, 4. Here we're gonna build some cobblestone, a platform for me to stand on, and then we are touching the bed. Here we go. The cobblestone is actually protecting us from the explosion. And we're gonna continue until we find something amazing. Here we go. Our first ancient debris. Now, ancient debris are similar to diamonds. You can only actually harvest ancient debris with a diamond pickaxe. Here we go, our first ancient debris. Now, we do need quite a bit more for us to be able to use the ancient debris on our weapons and tools. So, let's keep going. Now check this out, a 3 vein of ancient debris. So this is the biggest you can get them. They can only get up to 3. Now we are back, and after a very successful mining session in the nether and many beds later, we have 14 ancient debris. Now we need to smelt them down to turn them into netherite scraps. Once we have a minimum of 4 netherite scraps, we can turn them into netherite ingots by combining them with gold. Here we go. Now we can add our netherite ingot to our tools, weapons and armors. And to do that we need a smithing table. A smithing table is very simple. 4 pieces of wood, 2 iron. Here we go. Smithing table. Here's our table. We're gonna add the tool that we want. So this is our Fortune 3 Efficiency 5 pickaxe. And we're gonna add the ingot. And here we go. We have our first netherite tool. Now this is a further upgrade for our tools, and this pickaxe now is even more efficient and can last even longer. Thing I always do, I do not upgrade my tools to netherite tools until I have all the enchantments on them that I like. Otherwise, we have to start combining netherite tools together to get the enchantments you want, and that's gonna end up being extremely expensive. And like I mentioned, it is very expensive. After quite a while of mining and many beds, we actually only were able to get 2 plus the 1 I already used. We got 3 netherite ingots, so we actually can upgrade 2 more items, and then we have to go back into the nether to find more netherite. And before we are finishing up today's episode, I want to make sure we build a little bit of a bigger nether gate here. Like I mentioned, we can build them quite large. This is the smallest we can build them. But I want to build a proper, like some sort of gate coming out of the mountain here. So let's get started. Let's set up. Here we are, our nether gate. It's looking good. And yeah, I think it's gonna need a little bit more of details. I'm not sure what yet. I will figure this out off camera. Let's make sure it still works and it's getting us to our nether base. Now, hello. Now our nether base still needs some work, something to do in the future for us. But for now, I think... Well, Minecrafters, this is it for episode 6. In today's episode, we went to the nether for the first time and we found our first ancient debris and learned how to turn it into netherite and how to add it onto our pickaxe. If you learned something new today and had fun, please leave a like below. And for our next episode, I think it's time to extend our base to build a bigger house, and my chests are full, so I do need a better storage system. As well, we need to look at the basics of potion brewing, an important step to get closer to the dragon fight. As always, my name is MondHey, and this is Let's Survive Minecraft, and we'll see you next time.